Hello, welcome to McDoll's Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through each of the battles in the American Grand Campaign in Close Combat 4, the Battle of the Bulge. We use historical World War II US Army doctrine to plan and conduct each battle. We start on the strategic map. It is 0800 hours on December 21, 1944, and the weather is overcast. Artillery has been allocated with 2 fire missions in reserve for the afternoon. There is no air support and no supply drops. In the last episode, the US 10th Armoured Division fought the German Kampfgruppe von Böhm from 2nd Panzer Division at Weiler. The battle was a total American victory, and the German battle group was forced to disband. The next battle is at Esch Sur Sure, between the US 109th Regimental Combat Team of 28th Division and Kampfgruppe 901 of the Lehr Division. Commander, holding Esch Sur Sure gives us a tactical advantage if the Germans attack onto the map. It must be held. Deploy your men in the tower. Because of its superior elevation, you should be able to see right into any attacking German lines. The attack should come from the south, so defensive positions should be concentrated in that direction. On the US side is an American infantry battle group from the 109th Infantry Regiment under command of Colonel Rudder. It moves slowly, and reserves are at half strength. The company consists of 3 platoons. 1st and 2nd platoon are infantry, and 3rd platoon is a support platoon with 2 anti-tank guns and a mortar. The original squads retain their names and statistics. And I'm particularly glad to see the return of 1st Platoon's medium machine gun. Let's rename the new squad off camera. Now, let's review each of the squads. 3-1 is 3rd Platoon Headquarters. 1-1 is 1st Platoon Headquarters. 2-1 is 2nd Platoon Headquarters. 2-2 is a BAR squad. 1-2 is a BAR squad. 1-3 is a BAR squad. 2-3 is a rifle squad. 3-5 is a recon squad. 3-3 is a 57mm anti-tank gun. 3-4 is also a 57mm anti-tank gun. 2-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. 3-2 is a 60mm light mortar. 1-4 is an M9 bazooka team. 2-4 is an M9 bazooka team. And 1-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. Next, let's look at the map and conduct a commander's estimate of the situation. Our mission is to defend Esch Sur Sure. Esch Sur Sure Castle is located on a spur in the small town of Esch Sur Sure in the northwest of Luxembourg. It is naturally protected by a sharp meander in the River Sure which surrounds the town and castle on 3 sides. The far riverbank is dominated by heavily wooded steep slopes. The road from Wiltz runs across the Pont de Pierre in the southeast and winds north through the town, passing the Château d'Esch Sur Sure with its prominent 3-story square tower, then crossing the Pont Rue de Kaundorf in the northwest on its way to Martelange. At the bridge, it joins the road south to Echternacht. Both roads are dominated by the round castle keep on high ground south of the town. This is what the town looks like today. The map is remarkably similar to the actual town, bridges, and the meander of the river. And the view from the round keep looking north to the tower and the Pont Rue de Kaundorf off to the left. Observation from the tower and the round keep are excellent, and both locations can keep both roads in view, Similarly, the view from the Pont Rue de Kaundorf along the western meander of the river is unobstructed. Observation within the town is limited by the buildings with long lines of fire along the roads, but otherwise favouring short-range engagements. The stone walls of the castle, tower and keep provide the best cover in the area. Next best are the wooden buildings in town. The thick woods surrounding the town also provide concealment. The River Sure is the key obstacle to movement in the area. The cliff faces at the base of the castle and in the woods are also impassable to vehicles, although they can be climbed by infantry. Unsurprisingly, this channels vehicle movement along the roads, past the castle and over the bridges. The Pont Rue de Kaundorf is decisive terrain, as it controls all vehicle movement to the west. The tower and the round keep are both key terrain due to the significant defensive advantages of each location. The two avenues of approach from the south are either side of the river to the west, and to the east along the river and through the town. The Americans are expecting contact with Kampfgruppe 901 of the Lehr division, a tank training formation. So, we can expect the Germans to bring at least a troop of panzers, along with Sonderkraftfahrzeug half-tracks and supporting Panzergrenadier infantry. The Germans are advancing from the south, and in the last few battles have been gradually advancing their front line into the southern outskirts of the town. And the Pont Rue de Kaundorf is the likely German objective. Once again, the Germans could advance along the western avenue of approach. Armour could push forward quickly to seize the bridge and cut off the Americans in the town. Then support the German infantry to conduct a deliberate clearance back to the southeast. This approach could weaken American forces in Esch Sur Sure by cutting them off from reinforcement and supply, and it could avoid unnecessary delay. However, it relies on a rapid advance by armour and the avenue is otherwise exposed, with little cover from anti-tank gun or machine gun fire. Alternatively, the Germans could conduct a slow, deliberate clearance of the town from the southeast. This approach has the benefit of ejecting the Americans from the area and removing a potential threat to the flank of any German units advancing through the town. The Germans have largely adopted this approach in previous battles, albeit with support from panzers on the western flank across the river. It is likely they will continue this approach, supporting fire from the panzers on the left flank to the west, infantry advancing in the centre, and close-in fire support from Sonderkraftfahrzeug on the right flank to the east. The American defensive plan in this sector has proven its value in multiple battles now. This plan would continue to anchor on positioning the anti-tank weapons to destroy the panzers and Sonderkraftfahrzeug. The anti-tank weapons would be screened by the infantry in a defensive formation with 2 platoons forward. The main line of resistance would remain within the southern outskirts of the town, leaving a reconnaissance squad in the castle tower as early warning and ready to withdraw north. But we have some choices to make on positioning the anti-tank weapons. The first option is for one anti-tank gun to remain emplaced at the Pont Rue de Kaundorf, covering the road to Echternach to the south, and the bridge and the road in the town to the east. It would strike any armour advancing on the west flank, supported by the bazooka in the rear of 1st Platoon. The second anti-tank gun would remain in 2nd Platoon's position, but emplaced in the ground floor of a 2-storey building in town, covering the eastern approach to the town and the flank of the road leading to the Pont de Pierre, supported by the bazooka in the rear of 2nd Platoon. In the previous battle, the second anti-tank gun in this position did not take part in the battle, which is a waste of a critical asset. The main threat is the panzers, and time and again they have concentrated their strength on the western flank. So the second option is for the Americans to once again consolidate both anti-tank guns near the Pont Rue de Kaundorf, maximising firepower against the most likely axis of attack for the Germans, relying on 2nd Platoon's bazooka to cover the eastern flank. Otherwise, the company dispositions would remain the same. In this plan, the company would conduct an anti-tank ambush on the western axis of attack. The company would remain concealed and would not open fire. This would encourage the Germans to commit their forces forward. The Americans would hold fire until the panzers were within short range. And, when the time is right, the Americans would let them have it. I have made my decision and have placed the platoons and squads in position. First platoon to the west. The BAR squads in each of the towers. The bazooka in depth. And the medium machine gun back in position covering the road. Second platoon to the east. The BAR and rifle squads screening. The bazooka in depth. The medium machine gun covering the front of the position. Third platoon in depth. The light mortar in a defilade firing position. And both anti-tank guns emplaced at the Pont Rue de Kaundorf. With the reconnaissance squad in the tower as early warning and ready to withdraw north. And so we begin. 2 panzers to the west. Infantry to the east. Make that 3 panzers to the west. Two Panzer 4H 7.5 cm.
Barrage available!
Artillery barrage available. We will use this on the infantry. German infantry static at the Pont de Pierre. A Befehlspanzer 5G, the German company commander's vehicle. A prime target. The Germans are not yet taking the bait. The panzers remain behind the burnt-out tank hulls, scanning for targets. They are advancing cautiously, using bounding overwatch. With a mass of German infantry along the riverbank. Such a tempting bunched-up target. German infantry at the Pont de Pierre remain static. No sign of vehicles just yet. Look at that tactical caution. It is almost like they've been beaten here before. The panzers are taking turns at moving, with others in overwatch. They start to move past the line of hulls. The infantry are crawling forward, even though they are not under fire, rather than taking the advance in short rushes. Crawling is bound to tire them out. The panzers are pushing forward. Soon it will be time to initiate the ambush. A tempting flank shot on the Befehlspanzer. An even more tempting rear aspect shot. Matey puts down a mortar smoke mission. This will dislocate the forces forward and rear of the screen. Let's give them some encouragement to move forward. Fire mission. The mortar runs out of smoke after only 4 rounds. The panzers are in a fire support position facing northeast, presenting their flanks. Let's initiate. Befehlspanzer immobilized. 3 crew out of action. Hit.
Nailed them!
Hinckley's anti-tank gun knocks out the Befehlspanzer. With the panzers withdrawing behind the mortar smoke, Early in 1st Platoon's medium machine gun opens up on German infantry. No movement at the Pont de Pierre. Hit! Curtis's anti-tank gun destroys the Panzer IV. The 3rd Panzer is hit and damaged. It presents its flank. And is destroyed by Curtis's anti-tank gun. All quiet on the eastern front. Matey opens a fire mission on the advancing German infantry. Early searches for targets. Lieutenant Rodriguez orders 1st Platoon headquarters to join in. The recon team fire at them from the tower. The crossfire has eliminated a Sturmgrenadier squad, the Panzer IV-H crew, and a Panzerschreck 8.8cm anti-tank rocket team. Another Panzer crew,
Nailed them!
and the Befehlspanzer crew.
Target out of range!
Nolan's recon team get behind cover in the tower as MG42 rounds slam into the stones around them. They crawl away from the windows. The mortar shifts fire. With the attack on the west defeated, German infantry in the east start to move up. Matey checks fire on the mortar. Nolan's recon team stay within cover. German infantry advancing from the round keep. The MG42 is providing suppressing fire from the flank. The German infantry are not yet in range. They will be. In 2nd Platoon, Gibbs's BAR squad moves up to cover the eastern flank.
Nailed him!
Early eliminates the last of the infantry squad across the river, and turns the medium machine gun to target the German rifle squad to the south. Rodriguez joins in. And Matey opens another mortar high explosive fire mission. To the south, infantry and a half-track.
Unter Beschuss! Preston!
Gibbs's BAR squad moves to get on the German flank and out of the machine gun fire. Not fast enough for Koch, who catches a burst in the chest and is killed instantly.
We're busy!
Ergeben uns!
The last member of the German rifle squad throws up his hands in surrender. Medium machine gun and mortar fire on the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251-16 Flammenwerfer to the southeast.
Move completed!
Crossfire and the 2nd Panzerschreck squad is eliminated. Early's medium machine gun team moves up to get a better shot. Strong's medium machine gun in 2nd Platoon keeps up fire on the Flammenwerfer.
In position. Move completed.
Keep your heads down.
Serving ammunition.
The American line is holding, and the German attack is defeated.
Target out of range.
But firing continues. The mortar is out of ammo, and Gibbs has lost 2 more squad members. Major American victory. The battle ended because time ran out. Both sides still control some victory locations. The Americans won the battle because they control a greater number of crucial victory locations than the Germans. While the Americans hold the same number of victory locations as the Germans, 3, this result reflects that the Americans hold the more valuable victory location at the Pont Rue de Kaundorf. The Americans lost 2 killed and no other casualties. The Germans lost 21 killed, 22 wounded, 1 prisoner, and 3 tanks destroyed. Once again, for no appreciable gain in territory. Let's examine the American squads. Early, on 1st Platoon's medium machine gun, is awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge for his work defending the western flank. Sadly, Murch and Koch in 2nd Platoon's BAR squad were killed resisting the German infantry advance in the east. Lynch and Sebester in Nolan's Recon Squad are both awarded the Bronze Star for their work breaking up both German infantry assaults. In Curtis's anti-tank gun, Anderson is credited with his 4th Panzer. Norwood is also credited with a Panzer and awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge. In Hinckley's anti-tank gun, Simpson and Horn share credit for the Befehlspanzer kill. So far, the campaign remains a major American victory. The Grant campaign has 11 days remaining. Your defence of the Ardennes is progressing better than your historical counterparts. This was the last battle of the morning. The Germans retain a foothold at Simmerath on the north flank and Esch Sur Sure on the southern flank. Over the campaign, cumulative American losses are 388 killed in action, 394 wounded in action, 49 tanks, 5 vehicles, and 18 guns. Cumulative German losses are 1,010 killed in action, 968 wounded in action, 149 tanks, 143 armoured vehicles, and 1 anti-tank gun. So, what did we learn? The ambush worked as expected. By holding fire, the German panzers were lured forward, past the steel wall formed by the burnt-out hulls of their compatriots, and close to the American anti-tank guns. The mortar smoke mission dislocated the panzers from lead infantry elements. The panzers then turned their flanks to the anti-tank guns, and in short succession, a Befehlspanzer and 2 Panzer IV-H were no more. This allowed the medium machine gun and other squads to unmask and clean up the remaining German infantry. And so, the German assault on the western axis of attack was defeated. Next, the German assault on the eastern axis of attack was also defeated. Despite some textbook suppressing machine gun fire from both flanks, German infantry could not get past the open ground. However, there were still German forces under cover on this flank when the battle ended, depriving the Americans of a total victory. But the entire German Kampfgruppe was defeated by less than half of the company in defence. 2 anti-tank guns, the mortar, the medium machine gun, and a couple of infantry squads did all the work. The rest of the company never fired a shot. This demonstrates the power of an ambush in defence. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.